Joining us now is our mate, John Hinderaker, from the Centre of the American Experiment and, of course, editor of the Powerline blog, or contributor thereof. John, great to see you. Happy New Year, mate. And tomorrow is the inauguration of Donald Trump. Tell us about it.
Rowan, it can't come too soon. We are finally seeing the end of the disastrous four-year Biden administration. And Joe Biden has managed to kind of limp to the finish line. His last week in office may be one of the most bizarre of his entire four-year term. But yes, indeed, on Monday, Donald Trump will be taking the reins.
Caroline.
John, great to see you. We've already heard a lot of talk about mass deportations happening. How soon is that going to take place? And what's been the response over there from the voters?
Well, the voters voted for it. You know, Donald Trump has never made a secret of his position on illegal immigration. He wants to end illegal immigration. He wants the people who have come here illegally to go back where they came from to the greatest extent possible. That is a popular position. You know, the Democrats act like it's anathema. It's terrible. No, this is what the American people have voted for. And I think we're going to see steps taken toward these deportations as soon as Donald Trump is sworn in.
James.
John, I'm concerned about what happens on not day one when these mass deportations are scheduled to start happening, but on day 2, day 3, day 4. How is the swamp, which absolutely hates Donald Trump, hates the idea that he is returning, responding to Trump's imminent inauguration? Because I have seen people like Janet Yellen saying that the country is hitting the debt limit as of Tuesday, that there are people in the bond market who are going to try and pull a Liz Truss on him and make it impossible for him to govern without massive chaos in the financial markets. What's the fight back and what's the plan for the fight back?
James, the biggest problem that any Republican president has is that he doesn't really control the executive branch of the federal government. The employees of the executive branch in Washington, D.C. are probably 90 to 95% Democrats and liberals. And there are many. Now, there are some, good employees there who will do what their bosses tell them to do like they're supposed to. The president sets policy for the executive branch. But there are many who will try to obstruct Trump. And I think he learned this in his first term, and I hope that he's coming into office this time around better equipped with a plan to whip these people into shape and actually get his policies implemented.
Now, John, when we spoke last year, one of the things I said frequently was that not only were you getting Donald Trump, you would be getting one of the most impressive and astonishing administrations with the most incredible characters. I mean, we've talked about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and J.D. Vance and so on, and Tulsi Gabbard if they're RFK, if he's confirmed. But I was very impressed by these confirmation hearings that we had during the week. Just want to play you a grab of Pete Hegseth, who is we'll just have a listen first to what he has to say.
Everybody in this room knows, if you're a rifleman and you lose your rifle, they're throwing the book at you. Mm-hmm. But if you're a general who loses a war, you get a promotion.
So he's the new Secretary of Defense, John. How is that a contrast to the previous Secretary of Defense?
Well, I think this is just great, Rowan. Full disclosure, Pete is a friend of mine, okay? I think the world of him. But what Donald Trump is saying here is, I want a soldier in the Pentagon. I want a soldier with 2 Bronze Stars, a legitimate war hero running the Defense Department. That is not what we've had in the past. We've had either bureaucrats or generals with a bunch of ribbons who have never actually been shot at. And I think the large majority of the American people think it's a great idea to put a soldier in charge of the Defense Department.
Caroline.
Oh, well, I loved one of Pete's comments during his confirmation hearing, John, where he actually clapped back at Elizabeth Warren and really exposed these Democrats here. Let's have a look at that quickly.
In other words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
It's too good. I mean, there was a lot of speculation this confirmation wouldn't happen with Pete Hegseth, but he's performed very well.
He's performed well. There are 53 Republican senators. There were one or two who had expressed some misgivings about Pete because he wasn't a veteran bureaucrat, right? But they have come around. Joni Ernst of Iowa, in particular, has come around, has now endorsed him. And I don't have any doubt that Pete is going to be confirmed. And I think that all of Trump's nominees are going to be confirmed. In 2021, when Joe Biden came into office and he had all of his nominees, not a single Democratic senator voted against a single Biden nominee in 2021. The Republicans are behind this administration, and they're not going to be voting with the Democrats to block these nominees.
James.
Finally, John, being a lawyer, I wanted to get your legal opinion on something I just spoke about a moment ago, which is Joe Biden's unilateral declaration that the 28th Amendment to the Constitution now exists, and apparently there's an Equal Rights Amendment. Have we just gotten to the point now where nobody cares?
James, this is so bizarre. You cannot make this stuff up. Last night, Joe Biden purported to amend the Constitution of the United States via Twitter. He issued a tweet saying falsely that the Equal Rights Amendment, which died by its own terms in 2008, has now suddenly come into being and is part of the Constitution. This is completely insane. I doubt that Joe Biden even knows that he did that. We don't know who in the White House, put that tweet out and put Joe Biden's name on it. But it's an indication of how far gone this administration is. It is an absolute clown show.
And John, just briefly, the inauguration tomorrow. Are there fears around it? He's moved it indoors. Was that a weather thing or a security thing or a bit of both? What dangers lurk around the inauguration? Any?
Well, I hope not, Rowan. I mean, they say it was weather. It's supposed to be 10 degrees in Washington on Monday. Now, where I live, that wouldn't be considered cold. In Washington, D.C., that's cold. So there's only going to be 2,000 people in the Capitol Rotunda for the actual inauguration. There'll be another event at the Capitol Arena, which holds 20,000. Obviously, security is going to be very, very tight. But after the 2 assassination attempts on Trump, obviously, it's something that we all are concerned about.
John Hinderaker, great to chat to you, and we'll chat again soon. Thanks so much.